Oh, I can see over there.
Hi, welcome to High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki. HTDC is the state's tech evangelist, supporting innovation, entrepreneurship, manufacturing, and all things tech. And there's so many things going on in Hawaii that are totally amazing that we want to share with you on this program. So before we meet our fantastic guest, let me share what's coming up this week and soon. For all of our awesome Wetware Wednesdayers, we won't be having an event in July so that we can prepare for our 3-year anniversary. Can you believe it's already been 3 years since we started getting our software developer community together? So save the date, mark it on your calendars, Wednesday, August 27th. We will be celebrating the successes and partnerships that have come out of Wetware Wednesday. If you have a success that you'd like to share with us, please send it to me at cindy@htdc.org. Next up, Startup Paradise Pauhana is this Thursday, July 3rd at the Box Jelly. If you're an entrepreneur or part of the startup community, please check out this free event and learn more about what the Box Jelly co-work space has to offer. And it offers a lot, and it's a very cool space. So check it out this Thursday. Do you need any legal advice regarding your business? HTDC is offering free legal guidance in partnership with the Business Law Corps. You can sign up for a 30-minute appointment at the Manoa Innovation Center during June and July. Please visit htdc.org/legal to sign up for your appointment. And lastly, calling all SBIR Phase 1 winners. HTDC offers the state's matching funds for up to 50% of your Phase 1 award. So if that's you and you've won an award recently, please contact us at sbir@htdc.org. And finally, my awesome guest today is Steve Su, founder of BizGym, among many other things.
Right. Hi, Cindy. How are you today?
Thanks for being with us today. So what is BizGym?
BizGym is an online business success system.
Oh, I like
So the background of this whole thing was I was a creative person in my prior life, like a real life in my early career, I guess. And I was really good at creating, but I wasn't that good at business. So I had a career that went like this. And so one day I decided that I better write something to help myself. And I just learned business and I put it into an application.
Just on your own?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Trial and error?
A lot of trial and error, a lot of crash and burn.
Wow.
So because it worked for me, because I then started having successes, then as an application, we started getting subscribers, and next thing you know, we're in this space called SaaS development, which stands for Software as a Service. So I'm super excited with the platform we're on, and because we're getting significant usage now. We've done about 10,000 business plans in 2 years.
Wow.
Some really reasonably successful companies coming out of it. We get
That's
the
great.
interesting stories coming back. But the really cool thing about it is that my system's so easy to use that kids started using it. And there was one year in 2011 when a bunch of kids at Iolani were using it to write business plans in their entrepreneurship class. As you know, entrepreneurship's really trending in high schools, right? So we're doing this at Iolani, and then this idea comes along to do this entrepreneurs competition because APEC was in town and we weren't getting local press. Remember that whole thing?
That was recently,
Yeah,
right?
well, 2011. It was a long
Several
time
years.
ago. Yeah.
It seemed like it was recently.
So we started getting traction with that whole thing, and it worked very well for the kids. So next thing you know, we're building this application to make it easier and easier for business people and adding features. We have financial forecasting in it, so startups can kind of see where they're going, and hopefully the investors can see a little bit of where they're going. And then about a year ago, I wanted to rebuild the system ground up, that's what happens with development, right? You're like, oh, we need to refactor some data. If we do this, we can get this much more application out of the body. And so I ended up working with my good buddy, Rob Berthoff. You know Rob probably from Surrounds Me, he had a local play in the first cohort at Blue Startups. So I've been after Rob to do some of my stuff for like years. And because I was mentoring over at Blue, Rob and I were like working together with his wife, Ann, who was the CEO of that company. And we realized that our two applications could share a lot of the same features, like the membership system, security devices, forums, and cart stuff, all the kind of stuff that app builders don't really like to build because it's really hurtful and it's boring. It's not like cool new MVP features, right?
Hurtful.
So because Rob is like like he's that guy that sees the ones and the zeros like this, like
yeah,
the Matrix.
Like the Matrix.
Yeah. So Rob says, you know what? Let's build a backend that can serve both. So I'm super excited now because we started a new company this year in the state of Hawaii for high technology development in the Sas area. It's called Sas Ventures. And we're excited to bring it because now we have a platform that we essentially, for any application build that's like an online web-based software platform, membership-based, that's what SaaS is. Now we have about 80% of any build already started with this. We call it our springboard.
Wow.
So we can help application developers shorten what might be like a year development time down to like weeks or a month or two. It's really depends on the amount of features we're adding. But the exciting thing is now we can develop a whole bunch of stuff really quickly, very sustainable, all supported on the back end. We can share resources like call centers and good stuff like that. And now we can allow people with ideas that are not technical to participate in the tech space. So if you're a salesperson or a business person, you have an idea for an app, we can build it for you, you can go and sell it. Awesome, you don't have to learn how to be a coder anymore. So we're allowing more people into the technology space.
Wow, so this is completely separate from BizGym. This is like a whole new...
It underlies BizGym. So yes, it's a spin-off out of the whole BizGym paradigm. And it'll eventually come back to roost with BizGym because we can share memberships, for example. Like Surrounds Me is a social media automation device, but those people eventually will discover that to put out their story into the public, they need to go back and figure it out on the business modeling side, right? So then they're back into BizGym. Conversely, we can take BizGym users and say, now, do you want to publish your story? Let's go out to Surrounds Me, and many other plays that we're developing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
So people can take an idea that they kind of push through BizGym, and if the idea is an app, then they can just push it right through to...
Yeah, we're specializing in the
Sas
app
Ventures.
builds. Yes.
Very cool. And so is BizGym like a paid service or?
Yes, it is.
Yeah?
Largely free. So if you want to do a business plan or any type of a pitch, like an elevator pitch, a mission statement is a form of a pitch, executive summary is a short form of a business plan, which is still a pitch, or even a business card. BizGym takes data that you might put in. Like, for example, if you go into any of those templates and you put in the name of your company, because you have to have the name of a company on a business card or in a business plan, our system logs the information and then populates it across all templates. So it saves you time because you could literally be working on your elevator speech, but you're also writing your business plan. It solves the problem of we don't want to do business planning because business plans historically are pitch devices to go get funding. They're not really plans to help, govern how a company grows. It's too slow, right? That's why the whole lean startup thing happened. So we're a form of that lean startup thing. We're really focused on pitching, but by the way, you have to validate your plan as you go along and you develop the understanding for strategy. Why do I need to look at my audience and understand the segments? Or why do I need to look at competitors and understand, well, which ones are true competitors and which ones could we turn into alliances? So we're teaching all that through the system, but the nice thing about the system is it also represents a just-in-time learning device. So if you go in and you say, oh, I don't know how to name a company, then you can pop up a window that says, well, here's some examples and why. Use a metaphor.
So it really just walks you through the whole process.
Yeah.
Wow,
Simple.
so you don't even have to have business experience. That's what it sounds like.
You don't. It's like, business is like, just light your hair on fire and run, right?
Holy cow, yeah. So if you have an idea, you just run it through the BizGym.
Run it through because it's like a checklist to success. If you don't know a particular area, eventually you're going to be confronted with it in the system. So I understand why I need to plug that hole. And I understand the ramifications because this is how it affects my messaging going out to the world. And it's like any pitch that you do, if you have a big gaping hole, if you don't look at your audience, then the funder's like, well, they never told me who they're trying to sell to or what the pain point is. Makes it easy.
And does it tell you how to go about and fill your pukas?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. So it's largely free. You can go in and do business plans and pitches for free. And when you're ready to print, that's where we make some money because you have to upgrade to get the print feature.
Okay,
or if you want
so everything kind of
multi-projects.
lives there on the free part. Okay. So you can still work through stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're very transparent because the goal of it is if you don't know that you want to do business. I don't want to extract
I
money
see,
out
I
of your
see.
pocketbook.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The point at which you know
that's
I want to
great.
take funding for my
Yeah,
play,
yeah,
then I'll take $10 a month from you
yeah. Okay.
for as long as you want to print your plan, which could be just 1 month. A lot of kids, they'll go on and they'll do their whole plan for free, and then they'll upgrade for 1 month for $10. They'll print it out and print out their financials, and then that's their class assignment. So it's very
That's great.
fair, right,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
students.
yeah. That's great.
Yeah, and to entrepreneurs that might want to do the
So
same
it's
model.
$10
but
for
a real
whoever,
business.
students and entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That is great. Do you have actually, why are you in Hawaii? I just wanted to ask you that.
I'm in Hawaii because I met a girl here, just pretty much like everyone else, right? Girls meet guys and they stay here, or guys meet girls and they stay here. I met a girl here and she
Yeah.
said, if it's going to be me, it's going to be here.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice,
you can go back to
nice.
wherever you came
If
from.
it's not.
So I hung everything up. I said, baby, you are worth it.
Nice.
Yeah, and she's been so worth it. We've been married 5 years now.
Oh,
And yeah, it's been like just copacetic bliss.
yay. Nice. Very
Paradise.
good.
Yeah.
And so it's been good in Hawaii?
She's great. I
what
mean,
is-
business is like different, right? Because my former life on the mainland was different businesses.
Mhm.
Here, those businesses don't exist. You know, our
Mm.
economy is pretty channeled here. There's certain things we can do,
Mhm.
but and I think that's one of the challenges of the whole entrepreneurship community here is it's a very spiky community. It's not just knowledge based. It's not just the type of people that have money to buy things here, but it's also we have challenges from distance to get resources here, cost of real estate, to put things in a warehouse, cost to ship. There's a myriad of things that we have as challenges here that the mainland doesn't, and we all kind of get that.
Yeah.
But there
yeah.
are still wrinkles, like online software.
What has
you can
been
do
your
from
biggest
anywhere.
challenge with your business?
My biggest challenge has been getting something new up and off the ground here, because the truth is things don't happen that quickly here in Hawaii. and it's not to spite anyone, you know, it's, I like to tell the story of Hawaii is, from a business perspective, like a little rock in the middle of the ocean, right? But when the water line comes up at high tide, all those little barnacles, they're afraid of getting knocked off. So if you say, okay guys, we're gonna change some things up, right? We're gonna change the economy here, and they're gonna open up some new land, and all you barnacles kind of need to move over a little bit. And you guys move over a little bit. As soon as the water starts coming up, everybody clamps down because they're afraid of getting washed off the rock at high tide. So that consequently, in my mind, makes it very difficult for the Hawaii economy to change. When you say, let's do this high-tech startup thing and let's take some state money and put it into accelerators, and it requires movement, and that's a hard thing here. I don't really accept the notion that we don't have the talent.
Oh yeah.
You know, we have the talent. I've seen wildly talented people here, but business requires movement, and if we can't make those changes easily for the entrepreneurs, it's going to be a hard deal. And at the same time, I think there's also a lot of biases towards political statement. For example, education, hot topic, right? I'm totally down with education, but to me, the higher level is learning. It's not education, because education, in some senses, curriculum is a little bit of an old school model. It mandates you going through an institution. But many of my guys working for me now that are the most brilliant technologists here didn't go to college. So you say, oh, they're uneducated, but they're not unlearned. See, that's a difference, right? Because Google opened up the knowledge of the universe for everyone. You have a question, you Google it, you got knowledge. You're learned. So my goal would be to make people learned, and if education is the path to become learned, that's great for some, but others, like artists, which is where I came from, you know, learnedness sometimes has to come outside of the classroom. So I think we need to maintain an open mind about that. Segueing to our nonprofit stuff,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So we started with going down the path of the whole Lemonade Alley thing that we do for the kids.
Yeah, talk about Lemonade Alley.
So that's a business competition for kids.
That's awesome.
And going back to where we started this session with the whole APEC thing in 2011, there were a number of local businesses that were kind of PO'd that they weren't getting all this international press when all this, you know, the state leaders were coming. And so we kind of put our heads together and said, well, what can we do to to get some of that limelight for our local plays. And that's where the idea of Lemonade Alley came about, which was, let's have a entrepreneurial contest that celebrates some local companies, and gee, let's use kids, because it kind of tied in with the thing we were doing at Iolani at the time with the entrepreneurship group. So that worked out very well, because all of a sudden we realized we had this program that was hands-on learning. So in this program, kids create a team, 2 to 5 kids. They make a recipe. It has to have lemons in it. Doesn't have to have sugar in it. Can be totally healthy. It can be organic, whatever.
Wow.
It can have
Has to be a drink?
It doesn't have to be a drink. It could be
Just has to be lemons.
lemons. It could be frozen. It could be a baked thing, and whatever. So they create a recipe. They build a lemonade stand. They have to do a 1-page business plan, which is called a story tree. So it's like a mind map, visual version, comes out of BizGym. And then they come to a 1-day competition, build the stand, have their charity of their choice. So they're actually making money for a charity.
Oh, nice.
The slogan of the competition is profit to share. So they're learning how to make a living, but also learning how to share at the same time.
Wow, that's
And
great.
we're pumping up the volume for a number of charities. We got really heavy into social media this year, and super fun. And the goal then is for the kids to sell lemonade, do a 1-minute pitch on stage. It's a really fun 1-day event. And what we discovered through the process was, again, this goes back to the learning versus education thing, is hands-on learning is something that is really appropriate for entrepreneurship. It's more like trial and error, make a mistake, learn, iterate, lean startup, right? Screw it up, fix it, get it to market,
Keep
go,
going.
go.
Yeah.
So this idea of project-based learning is a really good thing for kids, and it's almost outside of the educational paradigm, because it's not curriculum. Although we did introduce a curriculum component to it this year, which worked really well. We have a 3-Saturday workshop series. So 3 Saturdays before the competition, there's a 2-hour workshop. The first one starts with chefs that teach the kids how to make a lemonade or a lemon recipe.
Cool.
The second weekend is interior designers and
for the
architects
stand.
for the stand, retail people. And the third day is camera people and TV personalities and PR people that teach the kids how to do their 1-minute pitch on stage and do TV interviews.
Wow.
So it's kind of that whole breadth of, if you're starting a business, make a
this is what
product,
you need.
sell it, and learn how to tell your story. That's worked out really well, and that's kind of blossomed into this little program unto its own. And a couple years ago, Capital One 360 came in and said, let's take this to the mainland. So they gave us a hunk of money to do that, most of which we're still sitting on now. So we're excited to kick it up a notch. Better Business Bureau has joined forces with us this year, so they'll be taking it to the mainland, hopefully, this coming year. Yeah, and helping to produce a local version of it here. So we're very excited with that. They've been participating with us for about 3 years now in a very heavy fashion, but this is time to kick it up a notch for them. They're excited, and so are we.
So you invented Lemonade Alley. Like, you kind of put the whole thing
well,
together.
many people invented it. It was my idea to begin with, but ideas are like, I think a well-positioned idea shows people where they can plug in. So that's kind of the benefit of good conceptual work, which was my last career. I was a conceptualist. But the reality, though, is that a good idea starts you, but then it takes it's like the 90% implementation after that. And we have so many volunteers that are so smart with PR and social and video and event production and judging rubrics and how to run workshops and how to do financial stuff. It's all stuff that is like way over. It's like I'm kind of a big picture person and not very detail oriented. So while I have a strong side in that bigger side, the other side is like really hard for me. A bit ADD, and so we have people that have really fleshed this idea out. So I can't take full credit for the whole thing.
But I would imagine that's like an amazing experience for the kids, just to be able to kick off their own business, their own mini business for a day.
Typical response from kids is, oh my gosh, that was a lot of work. I never dreamed business was so much work. And then they'll say in the next breath, I'm ready to go again next year. Right? So that's a good thing. It's a good thing on the sense that people need to know how hard business is. You hear about entrepreneurs saying, oh, nobody works as hard as an entrepreneur, and it's really true. But at the same time, the reward is that you're doing something you like doing, you're passionate about, and that you will get the reward. And you know, it's also like that saying, you get out of it what you put into it. So it's a great lesson for the kids to learn early in life, and I think that's what will drive the future of the state. When people figure out that it's really fun to work and play hard at the same time, like get a double hit out of life and be useful, you know, provide value and help other people smile and share a little, share the aloha.
Wow, very good. And you also have Camp BizGym.
Yeah, so Camp BizGym also grew out of Lemonade Alley, and so it was an extension of Capital One's grant. And basically, we needed a really cool prize for Lemonade Alley. So we scholarship the winners. There's 3 divisions at Lemonade Alley, and the winners of each division get $1,000 cash, where the kids can actually keep the money because the lemonade sales go to their charity.
Okay.
But we wanted to provide cash purse for the kids. And interestingly enough, more than half the teams end up donating the $1,000 cash to their charity too. So they really get the whole heart thing, right? Which is like, wow, that's awesome. Anyway,
that's great.
The Camp BizGym prize is really for them to take home with them, right? They learn how the next step in how to start a business of their own. So they're not doing an experiment of lemonade. They're doing like, okay, I really want to do this this particular product. You know, one team from Midpack, for example, wanted to make a light for surfing at night. Pretty smart, right? So they use like 3D printing, and they make the prototype of the piece, and they make a little movie on it. And so a lot of the Camp BizGym activity is about making a movie, and it's moving more towards movie pitches. So we're doing like these little mini movies that tell the story of their product, and then they can use those movies as crowdfunding pieces, so they can upload them on Indiegogo or Kickstarter. In some cases, they just want to put it out on social media just to advertise their product. And then we do this little film festival the last day of the show, so the parents can come in and see, you know, like summer camp style, what the kids did at summer camp. And it's so cool to see all these little cute videos. And kids are so good at video production now.
That's crazy.
Insane, right? They can set up the cameras, they can mic up, they can edit on Final Cut and iMovie. They know all about voiceover and effects, and they're really talented. Yeah.
That is amazing. So have any of them started businesses like from Camp BizGym?
Yeah, you know, there was one, I don't know if it was Camp BizGym. There was one that came out of Lemonade Alley last year, I remember very vividly. It was a Hamasaki boys, and they had created this business on their own called Buzz Pots. And what this was about is they saw one of those news articles about we need to save the bees because all the bees are dying, right? So they wanted to save the bees, and their solution was to take bee-friendly herbs and take the seeds and put them in packages and sell the package and then donate proceeds to whatever it was, the Farm Bureau or something. And I thought, that's really smart, right? And so I bought the first package from them. It was not cheap, but it was a worthy cause. So I remember giving the package to my wife, and she was just like bowled over. It was so cute, you know. It's like you could tell the kids made the whole thing, from the package design to all the warnings on the back, like keep this out of reach of pregnant women and children because it could be dangerous, because it has plastic in it. So they're trying to do, emulate all the things that you would do for an actual product, but clearly the parents were giving them leash and letting them do what they needed to do. I like to see that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be like, game ready perfect. It's more like, did you explore the principles? Because when they're like 5 years old, they're going to know the whole routine.
That's great.
And they'll know how to bring it up to market standards.
So that's our next generation of
I'm very encouraged. They're very smart. I never dreamed that kids would be so smart. It's like, we don't have kids, so we don't know, right? It's like, oh, there's kids running around here and there. We know what's really crazy? I go to malls, right, now, and kids are like wave at me, right? It's like, oh, I didn't do anything to your child, ma'am. But
they remember you.
They remember me because I'm like the guy at Lemonade Alley or at Camp BizGym. And so we get our dose of kids. And
that's
again,
great.
I never really spent time with kids before, but now I go, these are really smart animals.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very good. One last thing before we wrap. Do you have any words of advice to people that want to start their own business?
Yeah, just go do it. You just gotta, it's like the Nike thing. If you read my LinkedIn profile, it reads something to the effect of, I was the kid that ran with chopsticks in his mouth, you know, and I still do. And I think that's what entrepreneurs
Gave your
need to
mom
be,
white
that
hair.
type of, you know, when you get older, your teeth are all going to fall out anyway, so what's the difference? But if you like just go do it, you will discover things about yourself and how to connect with the world and how to, more importantly, how to be helpful and how to give. Because when you're out there doing something that's useful, everything else becomes easy. And you know, we're in paradise. The sun is bright here and it's blue sky and gorgeous aqua water. It gets that much more vivid when you're living life like large. You're just like going to make something cool.
That's awesome.
Have fun doing it and be
Good
useful.
advice, very good advice. So for more information on your programs, do we go to bizgym.com?
Yeah, you know, we're pretty web savvy, so unfortunately we have a lot of websites. But if you go to
That's one of them.
BizGym, BizGym.com, .org. .org, that's our nonprofit, sorry, my bad.
Okay.
You'll find links to all the other websites. There certainly is lemonadealley.com. There is BizGym.com. And there's all the social feeds that, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, all the same handles at Lemonade Alley, at Camp BizGym. Yeah, so you can find us many ways.
Great. Very good. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
sharing
Cindy.
your story. That is exciting. I think I want to send my kids to that. And thank you so much for watching and supporting all of Hawaii's entrepreneurs. And this has been High Growth with HTDC. I'm your host, Cindy Matsuki, and my guest today, my awesome guest, has been Steve Su from BizGym. Yay! And we'll see you next time. Thank you.